J.K. Rowling has said she won't forgive Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson after slamming celebrities who cosied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights. The multi-millionaire author hit out at stars who used their platforms to cheer on the transitioning of minors after the release of the long-awaited Cass report into gender treatment in the UK. The vocal women's rights campaigner said people who supported gender transitioning in children should apologize to traumatized detransitioners and vulnerable women reliant on single-sex spaces. Rowling has been vocal in her opposition of allowing children to change their gender, while Radcliffe and Watson have been outspoken in their support of the trans community. It comes after a review, written by leading pediatrician Dr. Hilary Cass, found that teenagers in Britain have been allowed to change their gender based on remarkably weak evidence. In her report, Dr. Cass warned that there was a lack of high-quality research on the effects of giving children puberty blockers and hormones, and said that the toxicity in the debate over the issue has become exceptional. Following the publication of her report, many people who have expressed misgivings over allowing children to transition claim they have been vindicated, including comedy writer Graham Linehan, who lost his career, wife, friends, and reputation over his views. Writing on X, formerly known as Twitter, after the report was published, Rowling said it was a watershed moment and that it lays bare the tragedy of allowing children to transition. When someone claimed that Radcliffe and Watson owe her a very public apology, safe in the knowledge that you will forgive them, Rowling responded by saying, "Not safe, I'm afraid." She added, celebs who cosied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights and who used their platforms to cheer on the transitioning of minors can save their apologies for traumatized detransitioners and vulnerable women reliant on single-sex spaces. In a series of tweets after following the report's publication, Rowling wrote, "Over the last 4 years, Hilary Cass has conducted the most robust review of the medical evidence for transitioning children that's ever been conducted. Mere hours after it was released to the press and public, committed ideologues are doubling down. These are people who've deemed opponents far right for wanting to know there are proper checks and balances in place before autistic, gay and abused kids, groups that are all overrepresented at gender clinics, are left sterilized, inorgasmic, lifelong patients. I understand that the review's conclusions will have come as a seismic shock to those who have hounded and demonized whistleblowers and smeared opponents as bigots and transphobes. But trying to discredit Hilary Cass's work isn't merely misguided. It's actively malign. Even if you don't feel ashamed of cheerleading for what now looks like severe medical malpractice, even if you don't want to accept that you might have been wrong, where's your sense of self-preservation? The bandwagon you hopped on so gladly is hurtling towards a cliff. And if I sound angry, it's because I'm bloody angry. I read Cass this morning and my anger's been mounting all day. Kids have been irreversibly harmed, and thousands are complicit, not just medics, but the celebrity mouthpieces, unquestioning media, and cynical corporations. The consequences of this scandal will play out for decades. You cheered it on. You did all you could to impede and misrepresent research. You tried to bully people out of their jobs for opposing you. Young people have been experimented on, left infertile and in pain. I thought the last tweet was going to be my last, but I just burst into tears. The hashtag Cass Review may be a watershed moment, but it comes too late for detransitioners who have written me heartbreaking letters of regret. Today's not a triumph. It's the laying bare of a tragedy.